Chiefs Kingdom, welcome back to All Chiefed Up. We're back with another podcast for that ass. And today we got a fun one for you. We're going to do mine and Steve's top 5 sleepers of the NFL Draft 2024. Let's get it going.
Before we get the show started, just want to say thanks for watching All Chiefed Up. Hit that like button. Hit the freaking subscribe button if you haven't already. We're trying to build this channel up, baby. Help us out a little bit. Mike, let's get this thing rolling and talk about some draft sleepers, baby, because there's some good ones out there.
I know. Give me your first one. I'm curious because we haven't seen each other's list. Let's go.
All right, man. My first sleeper in the 2024 NFL Draft is a quarterback, baby. It's Spencer Rattler, quarterback from South Carolina. Rattler, he's a little bit polarizing, right? A lot of people don't like him. Some people do. He hit the hype train back in Oklahoma when he was starting at Oklahoma. But then he kind of went radio silence when he transferred over to South Carolina. You didn't hear a whole lot about him. But scouts, they don't believe that he has what it takes to be an NFL starter, man. They said that he don't have elite arm strength. They say that he's not an overly dynamic runner. And I understand all of that. I get all the knocks on Rattler. But I'll tell you what I do like about Spencer Rattler, Mike. He's very patient. He's fearless. And he's confident. He'll stand there in the face of pressure and fire footballs. He's not afraid of anything, man. He finished 8th in overall scores of the QBs in the combine. And if he's protected and comfortable in the pocket, he's accurate, man. If he has to scramble, he's capable of getting you the first down. So I think it's not like highly likely that Spencer Rattler will be a starter in the NFL or anything like that, but I wouldn't count him out either.
Yeah, man. I like the Rattler pick. I think that's a good mid-round. I'd say like round 3, round 4. I wouldn't be opposed to taking a Spencer Rattler. A lot of people compare him to Mahomes, maybe. He was a little bit of a jerk when he was on that Netflix show. I remember that. But I think he's grew up a little bit, went to South Carolina, dude. I like the pick, dude. I really do. I think my first one is I'll go to a running back, and I'll go to running back Blake Watson from Memphis. A lot of people don't know about this cat. He ran track and field in high school. He was a wide receiver. He converted to running back. He's a 2-star recruit coming out of high school. He ended up transferring over to Memphis, and in 2023, he had 1,152 yards. He also can catch the ball in the backfield. 53 receptions, 480 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He scored almost a 90% zone rushing grade, so he's really good in zone schemes, which the Chiefs like to do a lot. Some pros on him: he's very shifty, he's fast, he makes himself small in tight spaces, he's got really good hands, he can make you miss, he's got pretty good vision, and overall, his pass protecting isn't all that bad. He's a pretty good pass protector, man, and I think we need that, knowing that Jerick McKinnon has not yet been signed back. I think he's probably going to be a round 7 UDFA, somewhere in that range. I really do. And then some cons for him: he's almost 25 years old. His hands are a little smaller, and I don't think he actually plays as fast on film as he tested. He seemed a little slower getting into those higher gears, and I think he runs a little too tall at times. And that's why you can tell he's a little bit of a wide receiver convert over to running back. You also see that with Tyrone Tracy Jr. out of Purdue a lot.
Yep. Absolutely, man. And while we're on the running back train, I got another one for you. I got Dylan Laube, running back from New Hampshire. Dude, I love the production I saw from Dylan Laube at New Hampshire. Although it's like a small school, I still think that he has the ability to go into the league and become like a third down back. His route running skills are top notch, man. Like, he can literally go out into the slot and run routes for you. He has a good pace, and he can just get the job done. Also, he can contribute with special teams, Mike. He's a good kick returner. He took 4 back to the house in his college days, baby. So if a team wants to look for a good little third down back, a little change of pace, if you will, some guy that can catch the ball in the backfield, because I'll say this right here, I think he can catch the ball in the backfield and run as good a routes as any running back in the entire draft. If they want something like that and they want a guy that can contribute in special teams, Dylan Laube's your boy, man. You can get him late.
I like Dylan Laube. He actually can catch the ball in the backfield really well. He had a game this year where he almost had like 200 yards in one single game.
Yeah, he can go off, man. He can go off.
Right. Nice little third down option there. I like it. I'll move on to number 2. I got C.J. Hansen, interior offensive lineman out of Holy Cross, 6'5", 300 pounds. He ran a 5-second 40-yard dash, and he has an elite vert at 33.5. C.J. Hansen is a guy that got invited to the Shrine Bowl, and he's got a lot to like about him. He throws and he punches his hands so firm. He really does. He can get them right up on you, and once he grips, he's staying there. His hands and feet, they're in a nice balance with each other. He protects well. I think he's got good eyes. He's got really good pass twitch, which means he can move left to right. He can get his hands on you. He knows what he's doing. Great body control. And I think he's really good in the run game. I think he understands how his body moves, how his frame works, and how I think he can just open up. I think he's a nice mid-round, maybe third, fourth, fifth round, day 3 kind of guy. And I think he could come in and he could play a nice backup role and be a chance to be a starter. Some of the cons is he doesn't have the best play strength and he lacks a little bit of agility when he's beaten. He doesn't recover too well. His feet lag a little bit also when he's trying to mirror movement of the defender coming at him. So he's got some things to clean up. He's not a perfect prospect, but at Holy Cross, what do you expect? I think he's a guy that the Chiefs could look at to just give some line depth in the middle of the draft, day 3, somewhere in that range. And I think it's a nice little pick, man.
Absolutely. Now let's move on to some fun stuff. Everybody wants to know about wide receivers, Mike. I got one here. Everybody knows his name. The Chiefs have already met with him. They've talked to him a little bit, and I think they like him as much as me, and that's Joshua CHIEFS, nice. Wide receiver from UTSA. Man, at 6'3", 185 pounds, he likes to work out of the slot. But he's not just a slot receiver, man. He was well above average in short, intermediate, and deep routes in college. He's definitely a deep threat, man. He had an 88.2 PFF score in receiving in 2023 and an 88.3 versus man coverage. This guy knows how to win in man coverage. He has sufficient speed, and most importantly, Mike, he has sure hands. This cat had a 1.1% drop rate, and I know that's music to Chiefs fans' ears after watching last year's wide receiver room. Yeah. But Joshua CHIEFS, like I said, it's a guy that we're kind of familiar with, but he is what I would consider a sleeper, man. I think he's a little diamond in the rough.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of off-the-field problems, though. He had a DUI or something back at Texas.
That's no problem.
To that.
That's no problem for the Kansas City Chiefs, baby. He'll be right at home.
We've seen that. Okay, moving on. My number 3 guy, it's a guy that hardly anybody knows. Out of a small college you would call Furman, and that is going to be Mason Pline. He is a tight end out of Furman, 6'7", 250 pounds. This guy is a flat-out physical, imposing monster. He started his career playing at Ferris State. You guys will know that name because if you remember, we had an edge named Austin Edwards that played at Ferris State. He transferred to Furman. He's got a rare blend of size, athleticism, and playmaking ability. He played college basketball, so he's got that going for him. We know how college basketball players convert to tight ends. He's got impeccable ball skills. He's got soft hands. He can high point a ball very nicely. He secures it in traffic. He can gain yards after the catch, and he's got a mean streak as a run blocker. I think he's going to be really just a project type player, but I think if he figures it out, this is a guy you could probably get on day 3 that could make a boom kind of impact for you. Now, some of the cons, he's a little bit stiff. Okay, in his route running, he's not the most fluid you've ever seen. He's got kind of limited catch movement after trying to pick up those yak yards. It's not the best you've ever seen. Again, he's 6'7", 250. I don't know what you're gonna what you expect out of him. And then also, not a lot of production at Furman or at Ferris State, to be honest. There's not tons of production there, but I do think with that size-speed combo and the fact that he's got such good hands, I believe he possesses enough athleticism that he's potentially could be a high-level NFL tight end if given a shot, and he gets himself into the right team in the right situation.
Absolutely. That's a big boy, man. That's a big boy.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah, so let's go ahead to my next one, man. I got a cornerback. I got Kyrie Jackson from Oregon.
Let's go.
Man, Mike, what NFL team doesn't desire a corner that stands 6'3", 195 pounds, and has a freaking knack for finding the football? Right. I mean, they all want that. That's what they want. And the thing about Kyrie Jackson is he is surprisingly smooth for his size, man. He'll definitely be a guy that can win consistently in man coverage in NFL. I just truly think that with his size, speed, and length. If he lands on a team that can develop corners like the Chiefs can, he could definitely be in line to be the next Charvarius Ward, L'Jarius Sneed, Joshua Williams, and end up being a diamond in the rough, man. I just like the way the kid plays. He's got all the intangibles. I think if he gets the right coaching, man, he could be a little diamond in the rough.
I hear you, man. I really like that one. Kyrie Jackson, big, tall, lanky. He had a pretty good Senior Bowl. I thought he looked pretty good. I could see him coming off the board there in the mid rounds. That's a pretty good pick, man. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to stay on the corner train, and I'm going to go to a guy that has had a little bit of a wild path getting to this draft. Quantez Stiggers out of Canadian Football League, the Toronto Argonauts. He actually come in and he ran pretty good at his pro day. He ended up going a 4.45 40, a 1.52 10-yard split, which is in the elite category. He's got decent length, decent hands, but at 5'11 and a half, 204, he has got one of the most unique paths to the NFL draft. Coming out of high school, he had very little interest from collegiate football. He ended up going to Lane College, which is a very small college in Tennessee, but his dad died in 2020. He was in a car accident. It flipped 13 times, and that caused him to have to drop out. He had tons of family issues, and he actually stepped away from the game. In 2020, 2021, he was like, look, I'm not even playing, man. He had a lot of stuff going on, but in 2022, he wanted to get back in it, and his mom actually signed him up for a semi-pro fan-controlled football league. So how crazy is that? He then caught the attention of the Argonauts offensive coordinator John Jenkins, and they got him an opportunity to join the Argonauts in the CFL. And he played his rookie year in the CFL this past year, 56 total tackles and 5 picks. He is physical. He tracks the ball well. He is a ball hawk. He can cover large areas with ease. He's very good in zone. The thing about it is he's not the springiest. He don't have the best vert, and he's got to work on that man-to-man. He's got very good frame, very good size, but in the CFL, you have to back up and give people big cushions, and sometimes his feet would get a little wide, causes him to be a little stiff in his hips. But, man, he closes very quickly at a 1.52 10-yard split. That puts him in the 90th percentile, Steve. He has rare sink and swivel fluidity, and he can recognize a play super, super fast, and that earned him a Shrine Bowl invite, and the Chiefs actually spoke to Quantez Stiggers. So that is a very cool name to keep an eye on in day 3.
Absolutely, dude. I love that one, man. How can you not want to root for a guy that has to take that path and go through that much stuff and maybe end up in the NFL? You have to hope that he can get drafted and have some success, man. I'll be rooting for him for sure. Let's talk about another cornerback, man. This one's no secret. It's Kamal Hadden from Tennessee.
You love Kamal Hadden.
I love Kamal Hadden. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows I love Joshua Cephas, just like they know I love Kamal Hadden. Those are two guys that I bring up quite a bit. The thing about Kamal Hadden is we had a small sample size. He had a bit of injury problem in college. But the thing is, man, QBs averaged a single-digit QBR when targeting him in 2023. 7. Single freaking digits. You heard that right. Yes. They don't want to throw to this man, okay? So, dude, that alone is just amazing. I think if the recent injuries and the small sample size of tape from 2023 doesn't scare NFL teams, I think they could find themselves a valuable piece for their defensive back rooms in the 5th, 6th, 7th round in this draft. But Kamal Hadden, I think he's got a little bit of steam behind him. I think his name's starting to get thrown out there just a little bit more lately. So I think he could definitely, you might even see him squeeze up into like the 4th round if somebody wants to take a shot on this kid.
That would be pretty awesome. I think Kamal Hadden has definitely got the intangibles to do it, but like you said, very small sample size. He actually hurt himself coming up to make a tackle, so he will hit you. My last one of the day, Steve, I'm going to go to the wide receiver room. I'm going to go Jared Bub Means out of Pittsburgh, 6'1", 212 pounds. He's elite at the 40-yard dash, a 4.43. He is elite in his 10-yard split, a 1.55. He is an elite vertical jump at 39.5. He has elite arm size, 33 1/4. Elite hand size at 10 1/8. How is nobody not talking about Jared Means, Steve? Pros, he has good height, big frame, excellent wingspan, suddenness. He can elude press, take an early lead on the route. He drops his head. He hits the accelerator. He can extend downfield. He's got a huge catch radius, my boy. Huge catch radius. He can run after the catch. He would be great on West Coast routes, such as what Andy likes to run. He played really confident in the second half of this season in 2023. I think he finally figured it out, felt comfortable. He got that going for him. Some cons, he occasionally takes his foot off the gas a little bit. He doesn't finish certain routes here and there. And I think he could use a little bit better effort on run blocking. I really do. I think that's something where he could improve his game. I actually comped him to one Terrace Marshall out of LSU. So we'll see. I think Bub Means is an intriguing, maybe like an X kind of receiver that you could snag maybe mid to early day 3, man. I think the Chiefs would have a fun time with him.
Absolutely, man. Bub Means is like the epitome of a sleeper in a draft, right? He's got all the intangibles. He's got all the elite measurements and everything else. Right. And you can get him late in a draft. I've only seen his name come up from like maybe one or two other guys, though. But I'm a fan of Bub Means as well, so I really like that pick. Make sure to get in the comments. Let us know who you like. If you like any of these guys or if you learned something today, let us know about it. But we appreciate you. Have a good one. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Go Kansas City.
Go Chiefs.